National Assembly mulls over THANH Expressway section. And severe heat wave hits northern and central Vietnam. In our world news, at least 1,200 evacuated as wildfire near Los Angeles spreads.
Broadcasting from Hanoi, the capital of Vietnam. VTV News starts right now.
Good afternoon. It is 3 p.m. local time and you're watching VTV News. I'm Huyen Tan with the top stories. Continuing the second phase of the 7th session, National Assembly deputies discussed the investment policy for the North-South Expressway project, so THANH section on Monday. More to follow.
Many deputies agreed with the project's necessity, affirming its important role as a traffic axis connecting the Central Highlands with the Southeast region.
Once completed, the expressway section will solve traffic infrastructure bottlenecks, create a new growth driver for socio-economic development, and ensure national defense and security in the Southeast region. It also minimizes impacts on the ecosystem, including compensation and resettlement for affected people.
Some deputies mentioned exploiting minerals into common construction materials for the project and reviewing the effectiveness of capital allocation methods.
Mineral areas used to produce common construction materials that have been granted a mineral exploitation license and are still in use can upgrade their mining capacity for the project without adjusting their mining investment projects and implementing procedures for appraisal of environmental impact assessment reports.
Local capital allocated from the local budget is huge. Đắk Nông province must allocate $39.3 million, while Bình Phước must earmark $48.4 million. I think the feasibility of this allocation plan is questionable. If the plan cannot be realized, it will affect the project progress. Therefore, we should allocate capital from capital resources at the central level and investor while ensuring the state's leading role in public investment projects.
Also, on Monday morning, the National Assembly discussed adjustments to the National Target Program's investment policy for socio-economic development in ethnic groups and mountainous areas for 2021 to 2030.
State President Tô Lâm received Russian Ambassador to Vietnam Gennady Bezdeko on Monday morning. The state president affirmed that Vietnam consistently regards Russia as its top priority and a reliable partner in foreign policy. He also spoke highly of recent positive developments in the long-standing friendship and comprehensive strategic partnership between Vietnam and Russia. The Vietnamese state leader believes that there is still great potential for enhancing cooperation, and he trusts that through existing bilateral mechanisms, the strategic partnership between Vietnam and Russia will continue to be strengthened further in the future. For his part, Russian Ambassador Gennady Bezdeko congratulated State President Tô Lâm on being chosen by the state, party, and people of Vietnam for his new mission. He expressed his desire to promote bilateral relations in various areas, including economics, trade, defense and security, education and training, science and technology, tourism, and people-to-people exchanges. Prime Minister Phạm Minh Chính has just issued an official dispatch regarding the residential fires in Định Công Ward, Hoàng Mai District, Hanoi, and at Đa Mai Ward, Bắc Giang City, Bắc Giang Province on June 16th. The incidents claim a total of 7 lives. On behalf of the government, the Prime Minister extended condolences to the victims' families. He also requested the People's Committees of Hanoi and Bắc Giang Province to promptly provide material and spiritual support to the families affected by the incidents. They are to work with the Ministry of Public Security to urgently investigate the causes of the fires, clarifying responsibilities, and strictly pursue any violations. The Ministry of Public Security is tasked with leading ministries, sectors, agencies, and localities to implement the government's directives and provide guidance on fire prevention, firefighting, and rescue, while reviewing the effectiveness of these procedures. All points must be reported back to the Prime Minister and the government, along with a directive draft on effective prevention and mitigation of fire and explosion risk for high-risk substances and facilities, due before July 15th. Fresh lychees from the Lục Ngạn district in the northern province of Bắc Giang are now fixtures on the supermarket shelves of chain gourmet market and shopping malls belonging to Thailand's The Mall Group. This is the second year in a row the Bắc Giang lychees have been sold at major supermarkets in Bangkok. Imported through a contract signed last September, these lychees are packaged in 1 kilogram boxes and priced at 359 baht, or approximately $9.8 per kilogram. Although lychees are also grown in Thailand, Vietnamese lychees are considered to be much tastier. Gourmet Market will retail 3.5 tons of lychees through the Best Lychee from Vietnam campaign to enhance the foothold of Vietnamese lychees in the Thai market. This campaign will run from July 15th until the end of July. Vietnam's fruit and vegetable export turnover in the first 5 months of this year was nearly at $2.6 billion. In the past 5 months, Vietnam also spent more than $700 million on fruit and vegetable imports. This is normal, but reality shows that solutions are needed to promote the consumption of Vietnamese fruits in the domestic market. In particular, during the summer, avoiding stagnation and falling prices is always the top concern of fruit growers.
This farmer always tries to be the first to plant new grape varieties. His farm-grown grapes attract many customers because of their sweet taste. Customers buy grape products directly from him instead of buying imported grapes. He has invested in new varieties and farming techniques to achieve this.
I have to wrap the grapes like this to protect them from direct sunlight and reduce the acrid taste, so the consumers can savor them with the best quality.
The same goes for apple orchards. Consumers are willing to spend big money on fresh apples if they find them safe products. Since family is one of 25 farming households in Mỹ Sơn Commune, Ninh Sơn district, that switched to growing apples 10 months ago after establishing a supply chain linkage with a local business. Financial package and safe farming techniques support each farmer's household.
I feel more secure when signing a cooperation contract with the company. I don't have to be afraid of the output when market prices fall.
Ninh Thuận province contributes 2 main products, grapes and apples, to the domestic fruit market. Over the years, supply chain linkages between businesses, cooperatives, and grape and apple farmers have been forged in Ninh Thuận province.
Thanks to these linkages, we can guarantee the origin and safety of our products to customers. More importantly, we can stabilize selling prices for farmers so they feel more confident about maintaining their farming activities.
The Grape and Apple Association of Ninh Thuận province had recently provided farmers with credit capital support to help them invest in production that meets State Gap, Global Gap, and organic farming standards. Vietnamese fruit growers can secure sustainable output and favorable prices by ensuring good quality and food safety.
Vietnam's annual fruit output ranges from 14 to 17 million tons. The price immediately drops when a certain type of fruit is in season with a high crop yield. One solution to mitigate this phenomenon, besides improving a fruit product's quality and competitive edge, is to promote processing and expand consumption channels. Our next story in the South Central region's largest mango growing area offers a glimpse into this endeavor.
Farmers in the Cam Lâm mango region, Khánh Hòa province, are familiar with mango prices falling by half in the harvest season. This year, mangoes sold to China under unofficial quotas decreased compared to usuals. In the face of this challenge, Hoa opened a mango girdle cake facility to share the farmers' burden of seeking consumption output. As a tech-savvy person, Hoa applied technologies in all production stages to ensure food safety and eye-catching packages for the finished products.
A kilogram of mango girdle cake is made from 10 kilograms of mango. During the peak season, we make 10 tons of cake, which means we have consumed 100 tons of fresh mangoes from the farmers.
More importantly, mangoes are also highly valued. 10 kilograms of mangoes sometimes only cost $2, but after being processed, this amount of mango can be valued at up to $11. Processed mango products are also sold on diverse consumption channels, including e-commerce platforms, social networks, and tours.
Promoting our products on e-commerce platforms, social networks, and via press agency is crucial. Through these channels, we can introduce Cam Lâm mango products to a wider customer base.
We will try to cooperate with travel agencies to include trips to mango gardens in tourist itineraries, thereby expanding consumption channels.
Spanning 7,000 hectares, Cam Lâm is the largest mango growing area in the South Central region. Diversifying product types and consumption channels allows local farmers to reduce the region's fruit price drop during the harvest season.
A sudden surge in raw cashew prices nearly a month ago has left businesses in the cashew industry struggling to cope. It also caused a shortage of materials despite excess factory capacity, which is an unprecedented industry situation. Our report comes from the cashew capital, Bình Phước Province.
2 decades into cashew production, IN has never experienced a price surge this dramatic. Currently, cashew nut prices from traders and businesses range between $1.77 and $1.89 per kilogram, up by over 7 cents per kilogram from earlier in the season.
Currently, raw cashew prices in Vietnam hover around $1.57 per kilogram, while export products rose to approximately $1.96 per kilogram.
The input materials I bought when they were in season and put into storage were $1.45 per kilogram. The price of dried cashew nuts has increased to approximately $1.96.
The Vietnam Cashew Association reports that raw cashew prices have spiked nearly 50% in just the past month, leading to uncontrollable hikes in raw and cashew kernel prices. This surge has deterred businesses from purchasing raw materials for processing.
This year alone, there has been an unprecedented 50% price increase. This has never happened before, and no one could possibly have seen it coming.
With domestic supplies limited to about 300,000 tons annually, the cashew processing industry faces a precarious situation likely to persist until August. Vietnamese businesses are now pushing for solutions to scale back processing capacities and mitigate losses.
Now, before we move on to other important updates, let's take a look at the foreign exchange rates of today, June 17th. Coming up next on VTV News. Severe heat wave hits northern and central Vietnam. And hundreds of residents register to donate organs and corneas. Welcome back to VTV News. Now, many provinces in northern and central Vietnam are facing a scorching heat. The hot weather intensifies when the hot low-pressure area in the west and the influence of dry hot foehn wind become more active. The extreme heat is most evident in the regions from Thanh Hóa to Quảng Ngãi, with temperatures forecasted between 37 to 39 degrees Celsius, exceeding 40 degrees Celsius in some areas. From Bình Định to Ninh Thuận, Hòa Bình region to the Midlands and the plains of northern Vietnam, including the capital Hanoi, temperatures are expected to range from 36 to 38 degrees Celsius. Some places may record over 39 degrees Celsius. The intense heat poses a high risk of fires, and precautions should be taken against heat exhaustion and heat stroke by those working outdoors. In Tiền Giang province, landslides continue to affect the road alongside the Mỹ Thiện riverbank in Mỹ Hưng A hamlet, Mỹ Đức Đông commune, Cái Bè district. The landslide section stretches about 70 meters, causing difficulty and danger to people trying to travel. Cái Bè district had invested in constructing concrete embankments to protect the riverbank. Despite previous upgrades and expansions of this road section, landslides still occur. Authorities have installed warning signs and implemented temporary fixes to allow residents to pass through. The exact cause has yet to be determined. Earlier, there was also a major erosion point along the Mỹ Thiện riverbank, which has not been fully resolved. The Hồ Chí Minh highway section passing through Rạch Sỏi, Bến Nhất, Gò Quao, Vĩnh Thuận in the provinces of Kiên Giang and Bạc Liêu commenced in March this year. The highway section, costing over $153 million, spans 52 kilometers. The total land area required for the project exceeds 111 hectares, including over 95 hectares in Kiên Giang and over 16 hectares in Bạc Liêu provinces. In Kiên Giang province, survey and census work has been completed. Specifically, appraisal and evaluation for compensation in Vĩnh Thuận district will commence this month. The district is anticipated to hand over land to contractors by July officially. In Gò Quao and THANH districts of Kiên Giang and Bạc Liêu provinces, local authorities are actively resolving obstacles to expedite land handover to contractors. The authorities encourage households to voluntarily hand over clear land before receiving compensation, helping facilitate construction operations. The whole country currently has nearly 30,000 reputable people in the community. These people are trusted by the community and are not afraid of difficulties and hardships to support each other. Village elders, village heads, retired officials, and grassroots officials are important bridges between party committees, authorities, and local people. Their contributions and initiatives have helped villages develop economically, eliminate hunger, and reduce poverty.
Working as a party official and in several other positions, Long has spent a long time improving the living conditions of the Chit ethnic group in the mountainous commune of Thượng Hóa, Quảng Bình province.
They have produced a surplus of food and foodstuff, reducing their difficulties. As their production flourishes, their lives have become better and better.
In a village of Manong and Ede ethnic, village elder Ipian Malloy formed a construction team and sent people to train in vocational classes. The villagers now have another career path to choose apart from farming.
Thanks to the elder, the lives of people have improved. We all follow his example of being a good citizen and contributing to the village and the country.
My goal is to unify the local people to be strong together and resilient against any challenges.
Reputable people are village elders, chiefs, retired officials, party officials, and trustworthy business people. Many localities have relied on reputable people within the community to launch and implement movements to create new rural areas and consolidate the nation's great unity.
They act as the core of the Great Unity Bloc, are great examples for people to follow, and are the bridges connecting the authorities and the people.
Each reputable person has different contributions and influences in the community, but they all have something in common. They are exemplary, dedicated, enthusiastic, and build trust between authorities and local people. They are likened to the leader bird in a flock, the spiritual support for the community to overcome all difficulties and challenges.
Hải Hậu District, Nam Định Province is one of the first grassroots localities to respond to the Prime Minister's call for organ and tissue donation registration. On Sunday, hundreds of residents registered for organ, tissue, and cornea donation. They believe sharing is caring. Thousands more have registered online. It is estimated that Vietnam has over 300,000 blind individuals due to corneal disease. They can only regain their sight through corneal transplant surgeries. Cham pottery, crafted from earth, water, and fire by skilled artisans, was officially inscribed in UNESCO's list of intangible cultural heritage in need of urgent safeguarding. This designation highlights the immediate need for long-term preservation efforts of Cham pottery across local Cham communities. In Bao Chuk village, Ninh Thuận province, the oldest Cham village in Southeast Asia that practices traditional pottery craft, artisans have recently shifted focus to producing pottery items as gifts to sustain their trade.
Artisans in Bao Chuk village are known to create lively pottery products using only manual labor, demonstrating their endless creativity without the help of molds or machines. Every pottery piece, whether simple vase or detailed statue, represents Cham's cultural heritage. These creations embody the essence of ancient Cham architecture in symbols like apsara, symbolizing prosperity and timeless beauty through traditional dances.
I create pottery with an open mind, making each piece a unique work of art.
Recently, the People's Committee of Ninh Thuận Province encouraged the selection of Cham pottery as official gifts for delegates and guests visiting the province. This initiative supports local artisans and motivates them to be creative and improve on traditional techniques. Cham Mi finished studying fine arts and returned to her Cham village. She adds the touches of contemporary art to her products while maintaining unique artistry.
I apply modern decorative patterns to cater to customers' needs with traditional elements in mind.
The People's Committee of Ninh Thuận Province has tasked its Department of Culture, Sports and Tourism with hosting a Cham pottery gift-making competition. 6 pottery samples were initially submitted for consideration as potential gifts.
The initiative to turn Bao Chuk pottery into gifts motivates us to be creative with our artisanship. I have proposed 2 samples, the Cham pagoda and the express dance.
Despite challenges such as declining youth participation in pottery industry, efforts to promote Cham ceramics as cultural gifts are crucial for the pottery's survival. The Department of Culture, Sports and Tourism has organized contests to promote Cham ceramic products, showcasing their cultural artistic significance. This proactive approach ensures that Cham pottery thrives as a revered art form and a cherished cultural heritage.
Coming up next in our world news. At least 1,200 evacuated as wildfire near Los Angeles spreads. And China's record high temperatures raises food security concerns. Now moving on to our world news. Due to strong winds, a wildfire northwest of Los Angeles, California has incinerated more than 14,600 acres overnight. At least 1,200 people have been ordered to evacuate. Around 400 firefighters and 70 fire trucks have been dispatched to the scene. However, strong winds and low humidity have complicated firefighting efforts. The fire was 2% contained as of Sunday evening. China is grappling with extreme weather as the north experiences severe drought and record temperatures, while heavy rains hit the south. This has raised concerns about food security in the world's second largest economy. The Chinese Ministry of Agriculture said that drought and heat have had an adverse impact on the planting season in some northern and central provinces. In Henan, China's top wheat-producing region with a quarter of the total output, rainfall in May was 70% lower than the yearly average. An emergency alert covering at least 7 provinces, including the major agricultural regions of Henan and Shandong, was already in place because of dry and hot conditions. From July 1st, 2024, almost all text messages from the Singaporean government will be sent from a single sender, SMS ID gov.sg, along with the names of respective organizations. Text messages end with a signature indicating an automated message sent by the Singapore government, to which citizens are not required to reply. The move is aimed at helping the public identify authentic government text messages and to guard against scammers impersonating government officials. The single sender idea will be progressively rolled out from June 18th. A clinical trial to restore hearing conducted by doctors at the Fudan University Hospital in China and the Harvard Medical School in the U.S. has begun to produce promising results. For the first time, gene therapy has been used to enable hearing in young children who were completely deaf in both ears.
This little boy is one of 5 children who have discovered the world of sound for the first time. He and 4 other children aged between 1 and 11 are on a clinical trial to restore hearing at the Fudan University Hospital in Shanghai, China. They all have hereditary deafness caused by a mutation in a gene called OTOF. To replace the faulty gene, the genetic medicine is delivered in an infusion using a harmless attenuated virus, injected through a catheter into a hole drilled in the temporal bone behind the ear. The virus then delivers minute doses of the genetic information it's carrying into cells of the ear.
So their hearing is not to the level as a normal individual. Okay, we actually didn't expect them to at this stage. And whether they'll reach a complete normal range.
This genetic therapy was possible because it targeted just one faulty gene that caused the disability. The trials are targeting young children because this is the critical time they form language and comprehend the world around them.
The best time point and time frame is within the first 3 years of life. And so by 6 years, 7 years, they are called the critical period.
According to the Mass Eye and Ear Hospital, over 430 million people worldwide are affected by disabling hearing loss. And genetic factors cause 60% of deafness in children. Researchers are optimistic that these treatments can eventually be used against other diseases with an inherited genetic basis.
Now let's move on to the weather forecast. And that's all the news we have for this hour. To rewatch our program, you can download our mobile app VTVgo or check out our YouTube channel VTV4Go. Thank you for watching and see you next time.